This update is a mixed bag and I feel the same way. After months of waiting, we finally got Update 3 of Sonic Frontiers, promising to add 3 new playable characters and a new story. Is it good? Let's find out! Amy, Knuckles, and Tails were added in this update. To start, there are new moves for each character's skills. The process of unlocking them is very similar to Sonic when you start out in the game. And the XP system is more controlled by offering XP throughout your exploration rather than enemies giving you the XP. The new moves can range from Amy throwing cards to Knuckles' drill ability to Tails' tornado plane thing. One of the things I was hoping for was to be able to switch characters on the fly, which you can't do. You were forced to climb the Trial 5 tower, and it's not intuitive at all, because when I want to switch characters, I have to climb this giant tower again, and then I switch characters, and I realize I need a different character, you gotta do it all again. It's just not intuitive. At first, all of these characters felt weird, but I grew to like them all. So to start out, we have Amy. She feels a little slippery at first, but with the double jump, and practically triple jump because of the extra skill you can earn, she is very versatile. She would definitely be my first choice for platforming instead of Sonic. There were platforming challenges that I wanted to do as Sonic, but were just too hard and too frustrating, but when I did them as Amy, they were actually pretty easy. Knuckles has to be my favorite. He has the best music out of the 3 new characters. It just sounds so cool.
There's a time to take it slow. Let the blood inside you flow. Find the way to the unknown, yeah.
And climbing is super fun with Knuckles. The animation that he has just feels so right for climbing. I really wish they had this for Sonic. And the gliding is still so awesome to do as Knuckles, even with the little animation before it. Having to unlock the Psyloop for all the characters is dumb, however, since it only costs 1 XP level, and the whole game is practically based around the Psyloop. The last new character is Tails. Tails is pretty good. His flying is fun, especially with the overpowered tornado that lets you basically fly forever. You can cheese the whole game using Tails, from getting Cocos to getting more of the map. Like gliding, it can feel weird and slippery at first, with the initial startup. But get used to it and it feels so right. Not having a homing attack is pretty dumb, but with the overpowered flying, it just felt justified to me. It's still annoying though, locking onto an enemy and trying to homing attack to reach a platform, only to throw a wrench and fall to my doom. The cutscenes for these characters, however, they felt very cheesy, especially for Amy. She was just too over-exaggerated and too giggly.
Well, too bad. They need me. I won't give up.
And she talks in this such a demeaning way, it's almost like she's talking down to us. The cutscenes are trying way too hard to be dark and cool or to represent whatever they're doing. They're just trying too hard. It reminds me of the cutscenes from Sonic Forces. To go along with that, the animations in the cutscenes are also not appealing. The gameplay animations are fine, so I wonder what happened here. Speaking of cutscenes, why is there another Starfall thing that I can't skip? They added a skip button to the regular one in an update, and it seems counterintuitive when I can't skip the new Starfall thing they added. And I don't even know what it does half the time, it just increases your things and I don't know. Disclaimer, I have played everything on hard mode except for the final trial, which I only switched to because it's ridiculously hard and I spent way too much time trying to beat it, and for that reason alone is probably why it took so long to make this video. So, after you play with all 3 characters, you get to play as Sonic again, climbing some towers again. Yay! The towers are pretty bad, actually. I actually did like the first one. It offered challenges that were difficult and made me actually try, if not a bit too hard for the first tower. The second tower I struggled with so much I had to take a break. There are these blocks that don't respawn after you hit them each time, so I had to load a previous save to get them to respawn. One mistake and you're back to the bottom because previous saves load you on the ground level. And there are also these dumb blocks that are very stressful to jump to. I got a massive frame drop and a clip through the wall on the 3rd tower, so that's fun. Other than that, I did like the climbing aspect. And the fourth tower was also dumb, because I had to jump to these tiny grind rails I couldn't even see half the time. And the ones that you have to build speed to jump to are just random half the time, whether I make it. But tower challenges are mostly a good time. Like the towers, the first one almost is too challenging, but still fair. However, the snake trial is just so bad. I had to look up what to do because the solution is something no one has ever done before. Instead of side looping the enemy and hitting him, which doesn't work because of the time limit and how stupidly fast the enemies are, you have to parry the spinning blade over and over again while getting hits in, which I have to admit, pulling it off feels rewarding and cool, if only the game actually teaches you the things you have to do. After the second trial, the third trial is a joke because it's just the annoying wolf enemies I can just parry forever for. And the fourth trial is just one ninja that you get 10 minutes to fight. Talk about a difficulty spike. The rest of the game is also needlessly hard for the wrong reasons. You need to max out your strength, defense, rings, and speed to stand a chance against every enemy. Most of the time I just skip them. They have way too much health. I'm fine with them dealing more damage, but if it takes more than 3 minutes to kill a single enemy that isn't a boss, that's just busy work. And island challenges are needlessly tedious and difficult. They are hard also for the wrong reasons. The sidestep one is hard because of the constantly moving switch. I can't do certain challenges as other characters. Amy can't climb, so I'm forced to do this challenge with Sonic later, and since I can't switch characters on the fly, I'm just forced to ignore it altogether. Good challenges include the one with like blocks that you have to side loop, and also like the light puzzles are also okay. They don't require much brain power because they are slower, but they are fun. So, after you play as the 3 characters again, you get the Chaos Emeralds. The last thing to do is climb the final tower as Sonic. I actually like the final tower. It's super condescending and it does feel like the climb to the final boss in a game. It's also fast and feels like a Sonic level. The final King Coco trial is my breaking point. And it's one of the reasons I think this was a bad update. It's just so hard. You have level 1 attack, defense, speed, and rings, and they nerfed the parry, in which you have such a small window to parry the enemy's attacks that you might as well just get hit half the time, and not even try. You are on a strict time limit of rings in which you can't get more. This alone took me days, and I eventually switched to easy mode because I just wasn't having any of it. I appreciate that it's not stupidly easy like Sonic games can get sometimes, but this is just overkill, man. And then there's the final boss. It's not bad, just disappointing. There's nothing wrong with this boss. I was just expecting a little more. I almost prefer the more melancholy tone of the original final boss, just because it was different than fighting another Titan. This one is just okay, just another Titan to fight. I didn't really understand how to stop it from attacking the shield thing, but I killed it before it did that. So hooray! I beat Sonic Frontiers! Again. Overall, the update in my opinion is bad. It just missed the mark on so many levels. I feel like it added more problems to the game than fixed. The characters are cool, even with the quirks and glitches and game-breaking moments, but I pretty much did not like, or at least was not opposed to, the rest of the update. It's such a shame that Sonic Frontiers ended the way it did, but it was one heck of a game. See you next time.